to send up, we'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous Old Dark Blues.
Wow, what a magnificent song to start the show. We are the Navy Blues. Good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening from Joe here in Bangkok and
Vince here in Carlton in Melbourne. And what a wonderful way to open up the show every week from now on, Joe. I never get sick of that song, I can assure you.
Do you know, Vince? Even I still have memories. You know, when we were good, and you'd go back to Princes Park after the grand final wins, and they'd just play that on repeat, and you just don't get sick of it. It's just, it's I don't know. I don't know the right word. I'm trying to find the right word, but it's very. It gives tingles down the back of your neck. You know, it makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. So we've got Gina, we've got Connor, and I think we may even have Chris. Anyway, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining in and tuning in. Of course, if you want to take part in the show, you can send through your comments on either YouTube or on our Facebook page, Joe.
Yeah, whatever. They can be good, bad, or indifferent. They can abuse me, can abuse you, can abuse Jack Ginnivan. I don't really care. Vince and I were talking off air. We will get to young Jack later, but we thought since it's a Carlton show, let us be at least a little bit Carlton-centric.
Yes,
First,
indeed.
Vince, no new injuries this week. That's got to be a bonus, doesn't it?
Well, I'm still waiting to hear, just in case something happens before the end of the weekend. Very unusual for us to go a week without an injury.
We've still got four odd hours to go. Well, in Melbourne, you've got 4 odd hours to go till the weekend is officially over. Yep. But on a good note, Vince, Alex, either Sin Cotter or Chin Cotter, depending where you come from. Oh, we just lost Vince there. Are you there, Vince?
You there?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, what happened there?
I don't know. You went black.
Would you believe Chin Cotter?
Probably, but
that's
some
how you meant to pronounce it.
Cotter. I know that's how you meant to pronounce it, but some people will say Sin Cotter. I used to go to school with a Robert Sin Cotter. That's how the Jesuits used to say it. And he'd always say it's
Is that
not.
right?
Yeah. You know, the old Xavier Jesuits, Vince, they know everything. But I'll be honest, I don't really know much about him. Do you know anything about the young lad, Vince?
My seat just went down then.
Sorry?
Look, I don't know a lot about him. I do know that he's not exactly a young spring chicken at 18 or 19. He's actually 26 years of age, so he's very much a mature age pre-season supplemental selection. And, of course, he started his journey in the Geelong Football League with Newtown and Chilwell. That was the name of the team, before eventually finding his way to the Carlton Reserves. And he actually played quite a good season last year in our VFL side.
I'm just reading a draft profile on him. A medium-built inside midfielder or half-back. Just left. Who shows a bit. But, he's got a contested ball game while possessing terrific athleticism. So I'm hoping we've got a footballer, not an athlete, but it says here he is a speedster.
Yep.
So they're saying he is quite quick. 26 years of age, 187 centimetres, 85 kilos. So if any of our viewers know anything about Alex Chin Cotter, please feel free to let me know. If he's on our list, what's he come on as a rookie?
I think so. Although apparently it's meant to be as a replacement for Zach Williams. So maybe he's a mature age rookie. I'm not quite sure how it all works. But one of the things he qualifies for Carlton with is because he's also had an ACL injury. In fact, when he first started at Carlton Reserves, he he was fresh off an ACL injury, or certainly surgery.
So he'll fit
So
in
he
quite
spent a
well.
lot of his rehab in COVID lockdown
Well, here,
restrictions.
John Holden has just said something. Alex was pretty good in the reserves last year. Looked
Yeah,
pretty cool and calm under pressure. Uses the ball well. Well, that's good. So,
yeah.
is he allowed to play in the senior team, or how does it work? I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure these
yeah.
days.
I think he can. I think it's long-term injury list for Zach Williams, and same with Sam Philp. So these guys should be able to come straight onto our list and play senior football.
Whether he does or not, I
I'm
guess
pretty
is
sure
another.
that's how it works.
Yeah. Oh, Gina's
Yeah.
saying yes. Yeah. So, well, let's hope. Let's hope he should fit in. Vince at Carlton. He's got an Italian-sounding name,
Yes, indeed.
so it's got to
And
be a bonus, doesn't it?
yeah, I think he's a pretty popular figure around the club, and he's certainly earned his stripes. Had a very good year in our VFL team, and a lot of people speak very highly of him. He generally plays halfback flank, so it might be like for Zach Williams.
That's good. Oh,
Mm.
I wish him all the best. I'm very
Yeah,
impressed
I
with
do too.
anyone that pulls on. I'm very impressed with anyone that pulls on the Carlton jumper, as
Yep.
I would have loved to, but obviously not good enough. So that's it.
I'll tell you what, if you want to watch a heartwarming sort of a video, go onto the Carlton website and have a look at the article there on Alex Chincotta, and have a look at that video where Michael Voss announces to the team that he's just been put on the senior list. And, you can just see the pride in his voice when he makes a little speech, and you can just see how much it means to him. So let's hope that he makes the most of his opportunity, and let's hope that at some stage this year he cracks it for a few senior games.
Yeah, well, yeah, hope so. Hope that doesn't mean that there's more injuries. I hope he gets there on merit as opposed to
Of
injury.
course,
I'm
yeah.
sure he will. But good luck to the
Mm.
middle-aged lad. We won't call him a young lad, Vince. Compared to us, he's probably a young lad. But in football terms, he's probably mid-career at 26, isn't he?
Look, Joe, I think the important message here is whether you're picked up as a number one draft pick in the national draft, or whether you're a supplemental selection, or a mid-season draftee, or you've been picked up from the reserves, or whatever the case may be. The only thing that really matters is that you've got your opportunity. Even a number one draft pick shouldn't rest on his laurels. He's still got to earn his place. He's still got to play well enough to keep his spot in the side. Just ask Paddy Dow. Just because you've been picked up as a low number in the draft doesn't mean you're guaranteed a game. And, some of our players over the years that have proven to be, quite reliable and long-serving players of the Carlton Football Club have started off as rookies. I think Michael Jamison might have started as a rookie. I think Andrew Carazzo might have started as a rookie. So
he did.
There's quite a few players that started that way, and what's important is that you make the most of the opportunity.
Absolutely. So good luck to the young lad. Hope he does well, and I hope there's no more injuries. Just on that, I was asking Vince off air if he was going to watch the practice match this Friday afternoon. I think it's at Optus Oval.
Friday morning, as a matter of fact. I think you'll find it is.
Is it?
I think it's about 11 o'clock. I think it's 11 o'clock. So
11:30.
Just double check.
Yes, it is. It's 11:30 at
11:30, is it?
I don't know if you want to call it Princess Park, MC Hammer Park.
MC Hammer.
Well, that wasn't it. MC.
No, let's be respectful to our ground sponsor. They've been our ground sponsor now for quite a few years, and I happen to know the family. They're sensational people, the Tahan family, who own Icon Services. Loyal Carlton supporters, and they put in hundreds of thousands of dollars every year into our club, and we should at least respect the fact that they've sponsored our ground and call it appropriately. It's Icon Park, IKON.
Gina's said something about speaking about Paddy Dow, the intermatch G. You can give me a little bit of information. Lana's going.
Was he good or was he terrible?
I don't know. I don't know what it means. So, Lana, if you'd like to elaborate, sorry. Jimmy, why does the club schedule open training sessions and practice matches during the work week? Good question.
Because they want as
Probably,
few supporters there as possible.
I was going to say, probably to annoy as many people as they can. It's not school holiday, so I don't
No.
know why they would do that. There's
I
got to be
think
a
you'll
reason.
find that they'll schedule these things when it suits them and suits the football program, not when it necessarily suits the supporters or who
Really?
can make it and whatever time. Yeah, look,
Gee, I'm
if you can
shocked,
make it, you
Vince.
can make it, and if you can't make it, bad luck.
I'm really
You know,
shocked. I'm really shocked. Yeah,
I-
so
yeah.
maybe next Sunday we'll have a little bit more to talk about. I don't know if you're heading out there, but some of the viewers may be going out there and
on
can give us.
Friday morning, I'll be heading out to have a look at that practice match
Oh,
against Collingwood. It should be good.
well, yeah, our roving reporter, Golden Tonsils himself, will
Do
be
you want me
out
to take
there.
a few videos for you, Joe?
I think you should, Vince. Send them to me and start to whet my appetite.
All right.
Over here in Bangkok, I've got a few people who are interested in AFL, so I've got to show them or tell them the game. But as I try to point out to a lot of English and Thai people, Australian rules is a game that is better when you're there because it's not only just involved in the play; it's sort of up the ground, down the ground, and watching leads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Before I go on, I'm very sorry to people. I have got a cold, so if I'm sounding a bit nasally, and if you see
You
me
are.
squirt
I
something,
can tell you that. I can even hear it.
yeah, if you see me squirt something up my nose, I promise I haven't been to Jack Ginnivan. I promise it's Ostravin. It's legal. I bought it at the pharmacy. Hang on. John, being close to the start of season might be tight for schedules. Christopher, love to come and have a look, but we're from Horsham. Well, that's a fair hike.
Love Horsham. Yep.
So
Good on
do
you,
I.
Chris.
Connor, I have my Carlton membership, been a member for 4 years. Fantastic.
Good on you,
Gina,
Connor.
COVID. What's that mean? Gina, you're speaking in riddles tonight. I don't understand. You talked about Paddy Dow. Now you've got COVID. No, I don't have COVID. No. I think she's meaning
She's
me.
saying you've got COVID.
No, I don't have COVID. I've had it 3
G'day,
times.
John Holden. Great man, John. Yes, the atmosphere is the best part of going to watch a game. And
Yeah, exactly.
if you're fortunate enough to go out and watch it with the real people down in the stands, rather than in the corporate boxes, you'll get a real life experience.
You mean there's more to life than a corporate box having
Let me tell you.
at half time and scones, jam and cream at 3/4 time.
I've been there and done that.
That's
I had
what I'm
25 years at the Carltonians, and I've had more party pies, sausage rolls, and scones with jam and cream than I can remember.
Well, that's what I thought.
And,
I thought that would be normal for you, wouldn't it?
Look, it's a great way to do the footy, Joe. Don't get me wrong. And you're always in the nice level 2 seats, the best level of all to watch a footy. But you certainly pay a price for all of that. And the average supporter probably can't afford it. And all I'm suggesting is that I relish the opportunity to go and watch a game interstate, especially when I can go out and sit in with the cheer squad or sit with a group of Carlton supporters and watch the game from the stands. It's a great experience.
It's funny you mentioned about the price of football. I was telling Vince off air that the show's going to finish a bit early tonight because I'm going to watch my local soccer football team, Port FC, go the Mighty Lions.
Maybe Beachy can come on and take over for the last 15 minutes and we can talk cricket.
Well, he has to control in, so I'll have to see that. But do you know how much it costs to get into the football here, Vince?
What, as in what, in Thailand?
Yeah, the Premier League.
You mean a soccer game? You mean a soccer game type of thing?
Yeah.
Right.
It costs a whole $2, right?
Wow.
And I went to buy a beer, and the beer was $3. So the beer would cost more than the entry. Now, come on,
even the beer is ridiculously cheap compared to the prices we pay here in Australia. But it's actually more than the entry fee.
You get a large bottle of beer. They put it in a cup with ice, as people know here in Asia, they like to have ice in their beer.
Yeah.
A whole $3. So
Yeah, well,
that's
the AFL's prices at the MCG and Marvel Stadium are at the sort of level that some people have to go out and take a second mortgage on their house. But anyway,
Gina's going to come down. Damien says Harry to kick 70. Thank God it's
Harry to
Coke
kick
free.
70. That's. I'll tell you what. I reckon Harry's going to be in for a big year this year. He's sort of he wasn't quite the same as he was the year before when he won the Coleman. I think probably because Charlie played a full season and might have taken away a little bit of football away from Harry. But that's not a bad thing. Between the two of them, they kicked well over 100 goals.
Hey, Vince, this is to you. Level 4, baby. Level 4.
Good on you, Jimmy. You're right. I'll sit up there in the nosebleeds with you. No problem.
Jimmy needs to mortgage your house to get food at Marvick.
Marvel, I think you meant. Yeah.
But it's really funny. When I go to the football here, you don't get a bucket of chips. You get like a plate of chips, and they're 60 cents, hot chips. And then you get.
Are you just trying to make all of us Aussies jealous of what you pay in Australian dollars?
But it's really funny because I read an article about that on one of the other Facebook saying, why is the food at Marvel and that so expensive? And, and the guy was saying, it's also at airports, where you get ripped off. I don't understand. I guess it's just they know you can't go anywhere else. Yeah.
It's true. Wherever there's a monopoly and wherever they can hold you in and make themselves the only option for you if you want to eat or drink something, you can be assured that they're going to rip you off.
Yeah, John's off to GWS in April. Well done, John. I hope you have a great trip, and I hope the boys win for you. Gina, I will not stop it. I'm going to rub it in. Rub it right in. Changing the subject, Vince. So we're talking about Carlton. We talked about Alex Chincotta.
Yes.
I guess we've talked about the practice game. Someone from a blast from the past you probably know quite well, Jim Buckley.
Yes, know him well.
Read a very interesting article about how he's beaten the booze, and I think it's all from his son. He's been 740 odd days without a drink.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Look, that's fantastic. I don't know the demons that he had. I heard it was quite bad. Reading the article,
I think it was getting pretty bad at one stage. Yeah.
Yeah, I know his son Dylan sort of disowned him there for a little while because of
the but the good news is that he seems to have come out the other side now and really done himself proud by going over 2 years now without a drink. What else can you say other than well done? And let's hope he keeps it up and doesn't have any relapses. But it just goes to show you how if you allow any sort of substance, whether it's alcohol, whether it's
tobacco,
these
drugs,
illicit drugs, if you let any of these things get the better of you, you're going down a very dark tunnel. And it's good that Jimmy's overcome that and recognised that he needed to change. And he's a great bloke. He's a real character.
He's a ripper guy.
Anyone who knows Jimmy and has met Jimmy and spoken to him at Carlton functions or what have you would just. I'm sure echo my words in saying that he's one of Carlton's favourite sons, a great storyteller, a real genuine, dinky-die Aussie bloke, and we love him.
Yeah, Gina, we'll get on to Jack Ginnivan in a minute. Let's just get the Carlton news out the way at the moment. Peter, how much is a Coke with Jack Daniels in Bangkok? Depends where you go, but it's anywhere from $3 to $6. Unless you go to a 5-star hotel, then you're paying about $7 or $8, but you don't go to 5-star hotels. John, hopefully it's smooth sailing for Jimmy from here on out. And Gina says exactly. So look, let's hope that. Hang on, Jimmy gives you all. Yeah, he is. He's a very generous man. Every time he used to drink at the pub down the end of my street and used to go out there, and he always happy to have a chat about Carlton, how they're going, how they're not going. He was extremely proud of his son. Didn't push him at football. Some of the parents. He just said to him, if he's good enough, he'll make it off his own bat. And he just left it at that. So, Vince, the elephant in the room, Gina won't give up on it. Jack Ginnivan, all right? I'm going to have a say, and then you can have a say, and then our people can have a say.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, what he did is stupid, okay? Not because he took illicit substances, but I guess doing it in a public place, okay? If you're going to do that sort of stuff,
Yep.
probably do it at home. Well, what I don't understand is he's a young man, and I would think that probably 80% of the youth of today have taken some form of illegal substance, whether it's marijuana or cocaine or whatever. Does it make it
Mm-hmm.
right? No. But I guess people experiment. Well, what about his lack of privacy? Why are people videoing him and then selling it off? Right? So that's my first point. He okay, he's a public figure. Whether you think he's that great a figure, I mean, I wouldn't be videoing him. But what about his right to privacy and people not videotaping him doing that? It's obviously, I don't know. I haven't seen the footage, so I don't know if he was in a toilet snorting cocaine. I don't know if he was out in the public. I don't know if he was in a dressing room or apparently it happened on Australia Day. I think at a pub. I don't know. In my day, when you went to the pub, you went to the pub for a drink, not for cocaine, right? But hey, I don't know. But I just don't understand these people who are professional sports people that put themselves in that situation. You know that you're going to be under scrutiny. You know that there's always going to be some idiot with a camera, right? I just don't get it. The other thing I want to say is that I also read that Collingwood and AFL knew about this video for a long time. So why has it taken the Herald Sun to come out and break the news? Okay.
Yep.
And a 2-week penalty, it's a joke. It's not a joke. Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Do you want to crucify him? I actually think he should get more, only because we had that Bailey Smith who got caught. And
Yep.
you'd think that people would learn, but obviously they don't, right? And young
Yep.
kids, you know, I don't know about you, Vince, but I was pretty lucky. My parents were fairly liberal and just said to me, don't do anything stupid. And if I did, I could go talk to my dad, and my dad would sort of say, well, okay, you tried it, you did it. Was it good? And I said to him, no, not really. So he said, well, just
Yep.
learn from it. Just move on. What about the clubs? They know these kids have got, and it's not just this sport, it's sport all over the world.
Yep.
They've got a lot of disposable income. They're bored. I mean, the club should find them something to do, make them study or give them things to do. I mean, the only good thing I've got to say about Ginnivan is that at least he accepted it and said, yeah, I got caught. Right? He didn't go, oh, mental health, like Bailey says,
Yeah.
oh, I'm under a lot
He
of pressure.
acknowledged that he owned it. He owned up to it. Yep.
So, yeah, remember Lawrence Angwin? I knew that Angwin family. They were just out there. So that wasn't a thing. But I don't know. What do you think, Vince? Because drug taking in this country was done a full 180 degrees in Bangkok now that they've legalised marijuana. I mean, you walk down the street here and you can just get stoned on the smell. So
Must be just as bad as the Netherlands over there.
Oh, it's worse. Worse.
Is it?
In the Netherlands, you're not allowed to smoke it on the street. Here, I've got all
Really?
these Australian. Yeah, well, you got all these.
Okay.
You got all these young backpackers from Australia and America thinking they look really cool walking up and down the street smoking joints, and I go, "You look like an idiot." But anyway, so Vince, what's your take on it?
Look, I essentially agree with what you're saying. Look, I think we're expecting a lot of AFL footballers to be intelligent and to show a sense of judgment. A lot of them are just young boys who, do silly things, and they don't think twice about what they're doing before they do it. And, it's the old, I never think I'm going to get caught syndrome. And Jack Ginnivan's found out the hard way that the minute you do something in public like that, you do run the risk of being caught, and it's going to affect your career. So, look, I don't think he should have done it. I don't think anyone should do it. I don't support any taking of illicit drugs at all. But it doesn't matter who you are. But it is a shame, but it is a reality of being an AFL footballer that the minute you do something which can be photographed on these iPhones that everyone carries around, and all of a sudden that person might want to sell that image or that video to a newspaper or a TV station or something. That's what they do. They look at it as a money-making opportunity and an opportunity to embarrass somebody who they recognise, and they get some sort of kick out of doing that rather than just turning a blind eye. So maybe the majority of people do turn a blind eye, but you'll always have that small percentage that will try and make some sort of mileage out of it or some sort of financial advantage out of it. And they'll take a photo or a video or even some audio if it's a conversation that you're having. So you've even got to be careful what you say if you're an AFL footballer.
Look at Michael Clark when he was out in the street the other day having an argument. Gina asked, what if it was a Carlton player? To be honest, I'd be really, really disappointed if it was a Carlton player. I'm not saying don't do drugs, right? Because at the end of the day, everyone is their own. You're in charge of your own destiny, okay? But the thing is, if you're going to do stuff like that, for God's sake, as I think Gina says, don't put yourself in the public, because there's always someone who's got a camera or a phone or, Sandra's right. Young men are protected by the walls of a football club, can do anything.
Yeah.
Worship like
God.
Look,
back in the old days, Joe, before these, iPhones and smartphones and cameras and all the things that we've got on our phones now, it'd be very difficult to take any footage or a recording of what someone's saying or doing. But today it's just, it's rife. And if you're in the public eye, whether you're an AFL footballer, a test cricketer, or a celebrity or an actress or a singer or whatever you might be, if you're someone who's, if you like, who qualifies for public consumption, well then all of a sudden, you're liable to be, I guess, monitored, and every move you make is going to potentially be either photographed or recorded.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just playing around with the layout. So
I gathered that. What are we doing now?
Is that one better or is this one better?
I don't mind. Okay, it depends on whether you want to show the comments.
No, you can see the comments.
I think the bigger our faces, the more ugly we look.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, Vince, do you think that Ginnivan got treated differently because he was a Collingwood player?
No, not at all.
You don't. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say it was, I don't know, Sam Walsh who got caught. Do you
for starters, Sam Walsh wouldn't do something like that, I don't think. But anyway.
Okay, but we're just using the example.
Give me a more realistic one.
Carl Norman.
Zach Williams. Carl Norman. Yeah. Lawrence England.
Do you think our club would have covered it up like Collingwood? Or do you think the AFL has told Collingwood, let's just keep it hush-hush, and somehow it's leaked out to the Herald Sun?
Not sure what's happened there.
Leaked out. I think from what I'm led to believe, it got leaked to the Herald Sun, because now they're asking people asking the Herald Sun to divulge their source. Well, the AFL are anyway.
I'll tell you one thing. I've got absolutely zero faith in the AFL coming clean on anything that tarnishes their brand. Their number one priority is to protect their brand and the reputation of the game. And these sorts of things, they can't stand it because it all erodes that. So if they can potentially keep something hush or keep it minimised or play it down, that's what they'll do, in my view. That's my view.
Lano is just an example.
Maybe others disagree, but I have no confidence in the AFL or any of the people that run the AFL at all.
Well, I think the protocol, Vince, is if there's anything that is found to be sort of against any, like something illegal, I think the first thing you need to do is run it through the AFL, and then they would give you what they'd want you to do. So that I tend to agree with you. I think it's the AFL spin doctors trying to cover up and protect the brand.
Yeah.
So, look, should he have done it? No. He did it. Should he have done it at the pub? Probably not. I mean, if he was in a toilet, I don't know what people are doing taking videos in a toilet. I mean,
yep.
It has to have been one of his friends, because they would have been in a closed cubicle. So it's not exactly they would have had the cubicle open.
Yep.
So anyway, that's the idiot. I don't know. Unless anyone else has got anything to say, all I'm saying is it couldn't happen to a better club. Filth.
Yeah, well, it's amazing how we're quite happy to stick the boots in when it happens to Collingwood or Essendon or something like that, but we change our views sometimes when it happens to us. I don't think that's right. We should be consistent.
They can go join the junkies at Essendon. They should merge. Call themselves the junkies.
Really?
Colling scum or something. Filth scum. The junkies.
Well, it'll be an interesting practice match this coming Friday, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be. I think it'll be more of a not really 100% hit out. No one wants to get injured now. This start of the season, Would anyone be annoyed if Collingwood was to beat us in the practice match, or wouldn't it bother you one bit? Is it just purely to have a little hit out and that's it? I don't like losing to Collingwood, even if it's tiddlywinks, Vince. So,
Be interesting to find out what everyone else thinks. But what do you want to get out of this practice match? My number one priority is that we don't come out of it with any injuries, season-ending injuries especially. But when you're having a practice match against opposition, you just never know.
Yeah, who knows?
Mm.
I like this. I guess supplements go hand in hand in Coke. Wasn't there saying things go better with Coke? So I don't know.
That was an old ad years ago, wasn't
it? Yeah, things go better.
Things taste better with Coke.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much more we can talk about football at this early stage. The team seem to be going well. Last thing, Vince, before we move on to the debacle that happened in India.
Yep.
AGM this week.
Yes.
What
Carlton's
day?
annual general meeting on Thursday evening, starting
Will
at
you
6
be
o'clock
attending?
at the club. I'll be there.
Will you? You've got two jobs this week, Vince. You have to be. You're going to be called Scoop Loccisano instead of Golden Tonsils. I'm going to buy you a hat.
Scoop after Mr. McClure, thanks.
I'm going to buy you a hat with press on it, like Jimmy Olsen.
I'll come in like the old press blokes in my mission brown suit and mission brown hat.
So you need to. So next week
and yellow shirt.
Yeah, you need to give us an update on the AGM and the Pracky match.
Yep.
Do you work for the Daily Planet?
What?
Yeah, Superman. Didn't he work for the Daily
Superman.
Planet?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And Jimmy Olsen?
No.
Jeez.
What was his name?
Vince,
Clark Kent.
Vince, here's a question that you can answer.
Yeah.
Do you just turn up to the AGM, or is there a registration process?
No, you can just turn up, I believe, and so long as you are a voting member of the Carlton Football Club.
How do they check?
Well, I think they've got a role there. I think they've got some sort of like a voting members role. So
if you sit up straight, you get out first.
I think you'll find if you are a member who has at least a 3-game, no, sorry,
Membership.
an 11-game membership, you should be entitled to attend the annual general meeting. Look, I think they wouldn't stop any member. I don't think they would stop any member, to be honest, from going. If there was something to vote on, that's where they would say you're not allowed to vote unless you're a voting member. And by definition, that normally means an 11-game season pass member. That's if you're from Melbourne. Although there are other members who are entitled to vote, such as interstate members, and there are other categories. There are, what do they call them? Life members for starters. That's another one.
What about if you got a pet membership? What about if you bought one for your dog? Is he allowed to vote?
No.
Can you put his paw up?
No, you can't. No.
Is there anything to be voted for this? Do we know if anything's being voted?
Not that we're aware of. I have a feeling that no one has put their hand up to challenge any of the positions that are coming up for re-election. So we still don't even know which of the board directors were up for re-election. And we'll find that out on the night, I imagine. But whoever they are, they'll be re-elected unopposed. So they'll get another term. They'll get another term re-elected unopposed because no one else has put their hand up.
I've got a question for you, Vince. Are you going to ask hard-hitting questions like Jimmy Olsen would, or are you just going to...
I won't hold back.
You won't?
No, there are a lot of questions that should be asked. There are, I don't know how many they're going to let me ask. They'll probably only limit me to 1 or 2, but I don't think there should be a limit because if it's relevant, I don't see why any individual should be restricted in number. But nevertheless, if it's because they want to give everyone else a shot, that's fine. But, that doesn't mean they should be wrapping it up just because they feel like wrapping it up. That's the only forum in a calendar year that members have the opportunity to ask questions of the directors.
Okay.
And there will be some questions asked.
Gina's asked, what about AFLW? I don't think there's any
Well, that falls into the whole realm of the Carlton Football Club. So I'm sure that there will be questions asked about the AFLW program, about the recent review that was done, about the casualties, if you like, from that review and why it was them and not others. And, there'll be some relevant questions asked about AFLW, I'm sure of it.
My view, sorry, Vince, okay. My view is it's a Carlton Football Club AGM, so that would be the men's, women's, and even the Little League. It should be everyone.
Mate, anything to do with the Carlton Football Club. Yeah. It's not like you have a separate AGM for the AFLW program. It's men's, women's, and everything else that's thrown in. Yeah. So you can ask a question. You can ask a question about the boot starter if you want to, but that's the forum to do it. Yeah.
Now, Vince, I've got to go soon. So next week you've got some good information to give us. Let's move on to the debacle that happened in India today. Did you watch it, first of all?
Look, I watched bits and pieces when I could. I had some commitments this afternoon, but I'll be honest. Last night, when they had stumps after day 2, I thought Australia was in a reasonable position at 1 for 61, I think it was, to actually build a decent lead, the second innings lead, and hopefully get India out cheaply in the last innings because they would have had to bat last on that shocking pitch. But as it turns out today, we just capitulated completely and went all out for 113 after being only 1 for 61. I mean, that's losing 9 wickets for about 52. They lost. I don't care how bad the pitch is. That's just irresponsible and pitiful performance.
I'm going to say it's not the pitch because the Indians had to bat on the same pitch, right?
Correct, and they got only 4 out for 116.
And if you watch today's game, because I was sitting at home doing some work on the computer with the cricket on, they don't know how to play the sweep shot. Every bloody ball was a sweep. And if you watch the Indians, they use their feet and come down the pitch. That Cummings, his shot was absolutely woeful
Yeah.
We'd lost 3-0, and he's come out and he's tried to hit the ball out of India to Pakistan.
Out of the park.
And it was disgraceful. And I don't know if you heard his comments after the innings. Oh, well, cricket's meant to be fun. We were having fun. Didn't look like you were having much fun to me.
Look, I'll be honest with you, Joe. I've not been a fan of Cummins ever since he was appointed, to be honest. And I've never been a fan of making bowlers captains, to be honest. I don't think it's the ideal choice for a captain. And look, regardless of what you think on that point, I just don't think he has displayed a lot of good leadership qualities anyway, whether he's a batsman, a bowler, or what he is. I think they've got some serious issues. I think the test series that we played back here, when we played the West Indies in a couple of tests and the South Africans in another 3 tests, that masked a lot of our deficiencies. We all thought, because we beat them, look, they were grossly inferior teams to us. I think that basically camouflaged the weaknesses that are clearly within the Australian team. And in the end, we've gone to India and they have exposed us. And no excuses. They played the same pitch as we played, and our performances so far have been really quite deplorable.
Yeah.
I mean, in that first innings, we got 263. That's the best innings we've had in 4 innings, 263. All the others have been in the 100s or less. So it's just terrible.
But why would you take injured players to India? Like that Cameron Green was injured. Mitchell Stark is injured. Is it a holiday?
No, but the other point is they've brought other players and then didn't play them. Like, I mean, at least Travis Head gave us a good start in that second innings. But they didn't even play him in the first innings. Why bring him over if you're not going to play him? He was one of our best batsmen and probably the number 4 ranked batsman in the world, and they left him out of the team in the first test. And Warner, if Warner gets another game, the selectors ought to be sacked. Seriously, he's got to go. And if he goes to England, if they continue to select him in the team for England, then they're really not serious about winning the Ashes. His time is done. He should have retired after he got 200 at the MCG. He should have announced his retirement and made the Sydney test his final test in front of his home crowd fans and hung up the boots then. But no, it's never enough. And now he's really spoiled his legacy by continuing to play and continuing to fail.
Well, Vince, it's like a prize boxer. They never know when to quit. Sandra says arrogance the way they got rid of the coach. I can tell. I won't say it on air, but I can tell you how they got rid of him, and it's
it was terrible.
Who's the bowler, right?
Hatchet job. It was a hatchet job. Yeah. But on Justin Langer, you're referring to. But look, to be honest, I feel for the young blokes that have come into that team. I mean, young Kuhneman was flowing up from Australia during the week, and next minute, he's playing. And good on him. He gave it his all. I didn't think he bowled badly. I think both him and Todd Murphy have really done themselves quite proud. And Lyon showed what he was made of in that first innings, getting 5 wickets in the Indian first innings. I think he was unlucky in that first test. He had a few catches get dropped.
Oh, we've lost Vince. Vince has dropped out. Hello, Vince. Oh, okay. So I don't know what's happened. Oh, there you are. You dropped out, Vince. What happened?
No, unfortunately, I got a call and I forgot to put my Do Not Disturb on my phone. Anyway, so I think, there's a lot of...
He's got another call. Well, Vince,
keeps ringing me.
Put the Do Not Disturb, will you?
I can't do it. I can't do it while I'm on the phone.
Okay, well, listen.
Anyway.
I really have to go in a minute. So it's time for...
I think it's time for this. Golden tonsils.
So, Vince,
all right.
What's the omen bet?
Righto.
This week. Yeoman, last week we put you on the spot and we made you put a bet. It wasn't an omen. You gave us a bet that was... I'll let you off last week. But what's your omen bet this week?
Okay. Well, seeing we've got the annual general meeting on this weekend, or this week, I should say, this Thursday night. Yeah. I think what will be highlighted at that AGM is the fact that the Carlton Football Club's board decided to promote the one board member who was responsible for the AFLW program. You there?
Yep.
Oh, I went up and down there for a sec. The one board member, Paddy Kinsley, who was responsible for the AFL program over the last 4 years, that we've seen a gradual decline to the point where we needed a review to find out what the hell was wrong in there. In their wisdom, they decided at the end of last season, to promote her, as well as one other board member, to the position of joint vice presidents. And therefore, my bet of the week is the Pinjarra is the harness racing meeting at Pinjarra tomorrow, Monday. Race 7, number 3, Luke's Mistake. Okay. You should pick up the chocolates on this one. It's a short odds on favourite at $1.45.
So the omen bet.
If you want to have a little 50 cents on that one, you should be able to come home a winner. Race 7, number 3 at the Pinjarra Trots tomorrow, Monday.
So Gina's happy to take all our bets. So it's Pinjarra.
And that's, by the way, that's in WA. If you don't know where Pinjarra is, it's south of Perth in Western Australia.
Well, there you go. All right, so there it is. Hey, Vince, thank you for joining. Excuse me. Thank you for joining me. Unfortunately, we've got to cut it short. Go Port.
Yep.
So until next week, we've got some homework for you, Vince. You got 3 pieces of homework: AGM, practice match, omen bet, and Vince will be happy to collect every winnings. So it's a goodbye.
I'll let you know how we go. I'll let you know how we go next week. By the way, what was the omen bet that I gave you last week? Did I give you some bets this week? Did I give you a bet during this week?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. Last Sunday,
to beat Liverpool.
Oh, that's right. I gave you Everton to beat Liverpool. That came a gutser, didn't it?
Yeah, 2-0.
I think we lost 2-0, but Everton won last night. They beat Leeds 1-0. So I gave you the wrong game.
Yeah, it was a week early. All right.
I better let you go.
Off, don't forget, hit the like, subscribe, get people to join the channel. As you do know, probably starting from next week, it'll be a bit more about Carlton. And Port won't be playing, so I won't have to leave. So it's a goodbye from me and
it's a good night from him. Good night, everyone.